We currently have 390 kids enrolled right now. And we have our Pee Wee division all the way through D4. So we go from 3 to 4 year old all the way up to 7 and 8th graders. And we joined last year the NFL. We're actually part of the NFL. So if you see like preseason, you see a lot of the flag football stuff. We're involved with all that. So they get actually NFL approved jerseys, they get to keep, and also flags. So that is our next big event. And then we also have coming up is we have an unveiling here at the old City Hall building right across the way over here. We're going to be doing a time capsule opening. It's the 100-year anniversary. So we're going to be pulling the cornerstone, and we have this on Thursday, September 26th between 4 and 6 p.m., and you're all invited to attend. We'll have the mayor there, of course, and the fire department. It should be an exciting time where we're going to see, hopefully, whatever was put in the time capsule, hopefully withstood the test of time and didn't dissolve. So that's all I have at this time.
What day was that again, Ray?
September 26th, it's a Thursday, and it's excuse me, from 4 to 6, and it'll be here, and then I believe at the fire station too. They're going to open up the bays over there, and they're going to show some of the trucks off and stuff like that. The fire department will be heavily involved in it.
I Two questions. One is with flag football being officially announced for the 2028 Olympics, are we going to be trying to kind of promote that since it's officially going to be an Olympic sport? And then B, are there going to be any plans to bury a new time capsule for 100 years down the line, or are we just opening the old one?
Well, to answer your first question about the flag football, we are not part of the Olympic yet. There is a way to compete. I've talked to a couple other cities, and at this point, they don't want to compete with Lemoore, but we might possibly be able to do a travel ball team. Um, what if we get involved with a travel ball type thing? We have some sort of city league competition. There's a possibility that we could get selected to go to the Pro Bowl when they have flag football stuff. Doesn't mean we would get it, but there's our name would be put in the hat. As far as for the Olympics and stuff like that, no, we're not. We're at this point, we're not involved with anything Olympic wise with the NFL. Um, does that answer your question on that?
It was more related to like just promotion because it's been announced that it's an Olympic sport. So I was wondering if we were going to use that as like an outreach opportunity for the community, because even though I know that obviously most of the kids that are going to be involved in it probably are not going to be a competitive age to even be considered for the team, because a lot of NFL players have said they want to try out for it. But I was just wondering if we could use that as like an outreach, like a promotional outreach opportunity. I mean, it's what you said both last meeting and this meeting, that it's flag football is pretty popular as it is, but
Right.
I'm just saying that it could be even more popular if because now we have that Olympic sport status.
I would have to go back and look because there are guidelines set by the NFL for us being in the organization. So we have to follow their guidelines. So um, if they allow us, because anything that we do, we have to get approval from them. So I could have staff look into it and see if that's something that we could possibly promote. Um, next meeting, I can have an answer for you on that. The time capsule at this point, um, I have not heard from anybody stating that they're going to do another time capsule. So I can't really give you any answer on that. When this time capsule was originally put together, it was the fire department were the ones that helped get City Hall built. And so it's kind of been a fire department thing. And so that might be a question we could raise if you attend this on the 26th. We might be able to ask that question. Are we going to do something for the next 100 years?
Okay, because there's a lot of municipalities, if they like bury a time capsule, they'll do a tradition of like burying a new one after the old one's unveiled. Obviously, that it's not a requirement. There's no requirement for time capsules. I'm just saying it's a tradition that we could maybe consider. But if that's a fire department thing, then yeah, I'll if I can attend, I'll see if maybe I can ask them.
Okay. Yeah, no, that would be great. Yeah, we could ask those questions. Anything else?
Any other commissioner reports and requests and oh, yeah, actually I do. Heritage Park.
Mhm.
I realize that they don't come out and do maintenance on the park on a consistent basis. I think it's every other week or something like that.
No, excuse me. No, the contract states that they're supposed to do a weekly maintenance out at the park. Now, there might be exceptions to if the grass isn't grown or if I know that they were doing a lot of squirrel abatement, so they may not have mowed it, possibly, but that would be a question I can talk to Public Works about because they're the ones that oversee that part of the park.
Yeah, it's around the pond. They had cut back some of the vegetation around there and just left big piles, which I understand is great for mulch and that kind of stuff, but it's also a great place to harbor rats and other rodents that you probably don't want in there. The other question I have is in regards to the irrigation system that's there. Um, it seems like at times there are when they're watering because of the runoff from all the squirrels and other little creatures out there, it winds up on the sidewalk as mud. And being someone who's there early in the morning at 6 o'clock walking my dog, as it gets darker and it's a hazard. Um, and again, I think maybe there should be some kind of abatement for the squirrels. I don't know if there is a humane way of doing that or
We actually have been doing it. We haven't eliminated all of them, but we've got a pretty good percentage of them. They're more now towards the basin area.
right.
So I don't know what the plans are. I'll have to talk to Public Works on that to see what their intention, but they wanted to get rid of the first part of them, which was by the pavilion and where people gather and stuff like that. So I know that they worked on that and they were pretty successful.
Yeah, and the last part of this is that there are a lot of people that play disc golf,
Mhm.
and that part of the park where the disc golfers are is pretty weedy right now.
Mhm.
And again, I don't know how frequently they come out toward that back end of the park. I don't think it's every week.
No, I don't believe that they do that every week. I know that they are supposed to mow and maintain the grass area and all that stuff
Right.
weekly. As far as that part, it's two parts. The sewer department maintains the basin on some of that stuff, and then the rest of it, where the disc around there was supposed to be maintained by the maintenance, our old maintenance staff, and then it was contracted. But I don't believe it's on a weekly basis. But I can get you the information on our next meeting, and maybe even have somebody from Public Works to be able to answer that for you.
Yeah. If nothing else, get some of the dirt off of the sidewalks that
Yeah,
turns to mud.
yeah, I know there's been some breaks out there, some sprinkler breaks,
Yeah.
and I know that they're trying to work on that to get those areas fixed because the squirrels have done a lot of damage out there, and the palm trees also are
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
part
In
of it
fact,
too.
that's the other thing. There are several broken branches and downed trees that are out there too.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Well, I'll bring it up to Public Works.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
So just one thing. I was working on what could best be described as a report. I didn't finish it in time. That's what I get for procrastinating. But for next meeting, I want to do a report on a group that are called First Amendment auditors. So just letting you guys know about that.
Okay. It was, I'm sorry, could you repeat again? First Amendment auditors, is that what you said? Okay. May I ask what is that?
The best way to describe them is that they're could be described as a nuisance group. And while there aren't any active in this community, it's unfortunately a growing movement. So again, I want to do like a more formal report, but I'm just saying that, for next time, just to kind of inform our public about the hazards with that.
Okay. If you would like that put on the agenda, I believe Marissa will be back by that time. You'll just need to turn it into the city clerk to be able to put it on the agenda.
And if she's not back, just
Either
report
that or
send it
Christie,
into
but
Chris.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That goes for anything. If you guys want to put something, you can have it. You have to have it posted then.
I got some things, Ray.
Okay.
Do you have an update on the survey?
Which survey? I'm sorry.
The one we were doing for using the funds and all that stuff, or like what we should do to make parks better and all that good stuff.
That was an RFP, and we just closed the bids last week, and as a group right now, we're going through and rating them. And our next council meeting, we should have it awarded to somebody. We'll go to the city council, and then I'll be able to give you an update. And then, of course, part of the package will include them having a meeting with the rec commission.
Okay.
And so you guys will have time. So we'll put that on the agenda once we have somebody selected and approved.
Okay. Um, the other thing is, do we do city basketball? Is there? I know there's NJB and all that, but is there
Right.
city basketball?
We did have a little dribblers program that we've discussed again. We're working right now. We are in discussions. We have to go through the insurance requirements, but we're looking at getting involved with the NBA with Golden State Warriors. So we are working on that, but we're not at a point really to discuss anything because we have to meet insurance requirements, and so we're going to go back and forth. Some of what they're requesting, the city does not cover.
Okay.
So we're going to have a meeting. Niant is actually trying to put together a meeting to get everybody, staff involved who makes those decisions. We'll sit down and talk with them, and then once we get something, then I can let you know. But at this point, we're working behind the scenes trying to come up with that, and also we're looking at possibly joining the soccer. Gosh, I can't remember the acronym, but we're actually looking into joining a soccer league, like an NFL type thing.
Mhm.
We're also looking at that, and again, that's the insurance requirements that we have to meet, and we're trying to see if we can negotiate. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do that. But we're keeping our fingers crossed.
Is it like an indoor soccer or is it outdoor?
At this point, it would be indoor. We typically haven't done outdoor for quite some time, but that's not to say that we may not down the road. But right now, this is for indoor.
Okay. If somebody asked me, that's why I was
Okay.
like, I have no idea. All I've known is NJB, so
Yeah,
that's why. Because NJB uses the rec center, right?
correct. They'll come in. Um, they'll start doing practices and stuff like that. And I believe their season starts in January, and I think it ends either the end of February or March.
Yeah, right, for
Beginning of March.
baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. My last thing. So it was brought up to me about the possibility of, or what, lighting the clover leaf at the sports complex for baseball or softball or whatever. Has the city ever contemplated that, or have they reached out for grants or anything like that?
We have. I'm going to say maybe time goes by quickly. Maybe 6 years ago, I actually met with Musco Lighting, and we did a whole complete design out there to light up not only the softball fields but also the soccer. And we kind of got pricing. We went as far as getting drawings and coming up with different options. And then essentially we were just told at this point where they wanted to hold off on it. So we didn't pursue it anymore. Um, but I think with our RFP going out with whatever firm we go with, those will be ideas that could be brought up to them. And that's part of what they're going to be doing for us to determine what type of programs, what the parks, impact money, what we can use it for, and how it should be best used.
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. We do have lighting currently out there. Not every single one works, but there is some, for the soccer area, we do have some lighting that does work, but nothing around the
Yeah, because there's like what, two fields? I think it's
with lighting.
Yeah.
Correct. But there are some, I know that a few years ago, maintenance was trying to fix them. There's a bunch of the power they did direct vary, and some of that stuff just deteriorated, decayed. And so we weren't able to fix it. They kind of patched up the best they could.
Yeah.
And of course the lighting is not, up to today's standards, but at least it's lighting.
Yeah. Because I've been hit up about like hosting tournaments and all that kind of stuff. It's a beautiful setup.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, so that there was question because then
Mhm.
Temporary fencing because going towards the west towards 19th, that's a soccer field there. Um, but that was just something I didn't know if that was in future plans or had been talked about or anything like that.
Yeah.
Does Musco have grants?
We looked into it at the time. There might be something out there. We'll have to look into that. At that time, when we were looking at with Musco, there was no grants available for it, but we were going to use impact fees. And then, but it's not to say there's not something out there. There's a good possibility that we might find something.
Yeah.
And that'll be part of the team that we hire. We'll be looking for those items too.
Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously out at Little League, it's a pain to try and host anything besides Little League out there. Because at Little League, you can't charge for admission. You can't, Little League's old school. So, with the new day and age of travel ball and all that stuff, because we have a lot of teams in this town, all the way from 8U to 16U. I coached the 13 through 16U Babe Ruth All Stars, and we were one game away from going to Missouri for the World Series. So
congratulations! Wow, that's awesome.
And we lost the last game, so
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that we're that will hopefully be brought up because we're going to be looking at more green space, parks, that type of stuff. So
yeah,
because we definitely have a need in the town for growing both Little League and also soccer.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So yeah, those will all be things that would be brought up. There will be surveys done, like I said, meetings. So yeah, and you guys will be involved with it. We will have it scheduled. It's in the RFP. I believe there's at least one meeting to meet with the rec commissioners. So they'll come to a meeting like this and get your feedback.
Perfect.
Speaking of grants, I know that I have a friend who's involved in the Pickleball Association up on the coast, Central Coast, and there are grants available for equipment and I think also for pickleball court design and that kind of thing. So
right.
I'll try to find out more about that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I know that I've talked with Public Works. They've got a firm right now working on some grants, and we were looking at for Heritage. And I had done a presentation a while back about some recommendations, which we'll bring up to whoever we hire But that was part of it too, was to put in some pickleball courts
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
So
Should be very cool.
yeah, yeah.
Isn't there a pickleball court on that court that's mainly tennis courts right by the Department of Education?
I don't know about being pickleball. I know there are tennis courts. I don't know if they've done anything over there. Hanford has everything at the old YMCA, but I don't believe, but I could be wrong. Uh, I believe it's just regular tennis courts.
No, typically you have enough space for 2 pickleball courts on 1 tennis court. So
Yeah, but I think they would have to
you have
mark
to
it all
reline
out.
it.
Yeah. And I don't
Yeah.
I don't believe they've done that. We actually did one, we actually did 2 courts in the back of the CMC in the back area, when we were trying to get an interest and stuff like that. And we kind of laid it all out and stuff like that. But at that time we just didn't really get a lot of people. We purchased the rackets and the ball and portable nets, and then we laid it out. But that was in the early stages. Kind of pickleball wasn't really very popular at the time. So
Yeah, it has kind of taken off in recent years.
it has. And that's again with the new company we hired, that'll be part of their thing to see what
If you
the
build it, they will come.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
Just going back to the indoor soccer league that you said was like the NFL. What type of structure are we talking about, and what level are we talking about here?
Well, essentially, excuse me, I apologize. What we're talking about is being in kind of like the NFL, where you're getting jerseys that are actually from professional teams. So your jerseys would match the teams. Uh, to be honest with you, I'm not at that point right now. We're trying to get through the insurance part of it first to see what everything is. But essentially, you would be getting professional jerseys, shorts. Typically, they'll do socks and that type of stuff. So it'll be all approved through the league. And along the same lines with the NFL flag football, all the jerseys we buy through the NFL. They're all professional team logos. And so that's what we're looking at right now to see if we can even entertain it with the insurance. So, like I said, we're in early stages right now.
So it would be attached to like I'm just throwing that out as an example, like the LA Galaxy or something, or like a team of that caliber, or maybe something a little bit lower.
I believe, excuse me, I do believe it is attached to something. I'm not sure what team it would be attached to, but it's usually depending on how that league is set up. It could be to a team, or it may not be. It may just be a joining a league that allows you to buy the professional uniforms and that type of stuff, like the NFL.
Right, because like the NFL, like flag football, for example, we're not attached to like any one team per se. We're just in the organization, right?
Correct. We're in the organization and we purchase everything through them, and everything, all the trademarks, all the jerseys are the actual team jerseys. So you get the Lions, the 49ers, Raiders, it's their actual logo. It's their from the NFL. So it makes it pretty nice for the kids to be able to wear something that represents the NFL. And that's kind of the idea behind the soccer, is we're looking at something that's organized and something that would be professional. So that way we're not just going out and buying basic jerseys and stuff like that. We'd like to get, behind the professionals.
Anything else?
I don't have anything.
So our next regular meeting, it'll be October 8th, and we hope everyone will be present. In the meantime, if there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.
All right. Thank you.